7-year-old today.
Thank you.
Oh, she did. Can I have another? You might give me another hug? Oh, you are so precious.
Yeah, this was the moment Storm Walker found out all these doll clothes were just for her. Last week, James Taylor saw a News Center 7 story about how Storm's father went into their tornado-ravaged home to get the doll. And right then, that was when Taylor knew she wanted to donate a brand new wardrobe.
No one thinks about how a storm like that affects kids. And when I just saw how happy she was when her dad risked his life to go and get her doll for her, I thought, and the spirit told me, give her some of your doll clothes.
I feel really happy, and I like each day I like picking out different clothes, so now I have a lot to pick from.
Yeah, I'm sure you.
Yeah, great story right there. Now that the doll can dress for any occasion, it's time for some primping. Leaders with American Girl saw WHIO's story, and the company is welcoming Storm to its Columbus store for a doll makeover. And this video prompted a lawsuit against Chicago police. Watch as 2 police cruisers hit each other as they speed through an intersection. The impact tossed one of the cruisers into a family's van. The crash killed an 84-year-old retired teacher and injured 3 people in that same vehicle. The family's attorney said the officers violated department policy when they sped through that intersection. New at 11, Southern Baptist church leaders facing sex abuse allegations. 2 men said their youth pastor did this to them when they were 15 years old. They said they woke up to the youth pastor inappropriately touching them. After finding the courage to tell their church pastor, he assured them he would handle the situation.
For me to be a faithful Christian, I had to stay quiet. He told us that he would handle it and that we should be quiet. Not to talk to anybody about it, that they would handle it, and they didn't.
A recent investigation found more than 700 people were sexually assaulted by almost 400 Southern Baptist church leaders and volunteers the past 20 years. This weekend, Southern Baptist church leaders are addressing the allegations at a yearly convention. They are also issuing new recommendations to protect sexual assault victims. It could take 2 years for those rules to be put in place. And tonight, News Center 7 learned the pilot killed in a helicopter crash in New York City yesterday should not have been flying in stormy weather. FAA records show Timothy McCormick was not certified to fly by only the chopper's instruments.
The National Transportation Safety Board was on the roof of the 50-store building Tuesday, but there was not much of the 9-year-old chopper left.
The wreckage is confined to the rooftop. It is highly fragmented, and a post-crash fire consumed much of the wreckage.
The question to be answered: why did the pilot take off from the 34th Street heliport in poor weather conditions without being certified to do so, when he flew into airspace over the city that has been restricted since Donald Trump became a presidential candidate? And did he decide to attempt a rooftop landing rather than put thousands of people on the street below at risk? His brother believed he did. Tim put other people's lives first, he said in a statement, by putting the helicopter on the roof of a building which took great skill. It is a true act of heroism.
And the how and why of this crash will be challenging to determine. Helicopters typically do not have black boxes like planes do, and the NTSB is trying to find out if he said anything over the radio before the crash. I want you to watch a crumbling road. Look at this collapse into a construction site. Workers closed the road just days before after cracks started getting worse in this part of China. It's not clear why the road collapsed or if anybody was hurt. Meteorologist McCall Vrydaghs joins us looking at the potential for severe weather coming our way tomorrow.
Yeah, the threat for thunderstorms are going to be coming back in, mainly for the second half of the day into the evening hours. And we do see some conditions will be favorable for stronger thunderstorms. Storm Prediction Center down in Norman, Oklahoma has put most of the viewing area under a marginal risk for severe storms tomorrow. That means that 1 or 2 storms have the potential to reach severe criteria. Our greatest concern with those storms are going to be damaging wind gusts, hail, and some flooding. Not going to rule out a brief spin of tornado, but that's really on the lower end this time around. Live Doppler 7 radar, we scan the skies for you this evening, and you can see all is quiet across the WHIO viewing area. It's further to our west that showers widespread through Wisconsin, Iowa, and northern Missouri are making their way on in. This is an upper-level disturbance that's not only bringing in the threat for some scattered showers, but even some cooler air as we head into the middle of your work week. And we'll watch that cooler air dropping down out of Canada, setting up shop, specifically as we get into the day on Thursday. It will be somewhat anywhere between 10 to 15 degrees below average. Typical highs should be in the upper 70s, and we're looking at temperatures struggling to get into the 60s on Thursday. For tonight, we fall to about 56 degrees for an overnight low. We do stay quiet through the night with mainly clear to clear skies. A great night to get outside and check out those stars. I was doing it last night. Jupiter is still visible. It was in opposition yesterday, meaning it's just very bright, and if you grab a pair of binoculars, you may even catch a good glimpse of it. For tomorrow morning, we wake up in those 50s. We have clear conditions at 7:30 in the morning, lots of sunshine. Heading into the afternoon, a few clouds will build by lunchtime, still quiet though, and we may even get through most of your evening commute before we see much in the way of rainfall starting to fire off. At 6 o'clock, though, some isolated downpours start to fire off in the area. An area of low pressure is going to be tracking in, and that's going to increase the intensity of those showers and storms between 6 o'clock and 9 o'clock in the evening. There's 8:30. You can see more widespread activity taking place with those heavier downpours, stronger wind gusts, and the possibility of flooding, as I mentioned. Main concerns. As we get into the latter part of the evening hours, we do still keep the chances of a few storms around, but they will begin to weaken. Your severe weather index for tomorrow, I told you about this just a few times now, but damaging wind gusts are going to be our concern for any storms tomorrow. That's our highest risk for thunderstorms. Flooding because the ground is still saturated. Hail is on the lower end, as well as that threat for tornadoes. So make sure that you stay connected. Check for updates throughout the day tomorrow and use the WHIO weather app. We're posting a lot of video updates there that you can get more information throughout the day tomorrow. Back into tomorrow night, scattered showers still around. Thursday morning, we will be dealing with some rounds of showers moving on through heavy downpours. There's lunchtime, and then this all will slowly begin to taper as we head into Thursday evening. Now, it is going to be much cooler on Thursday, so the possibility of thunderstorms goes way down. Tomorrow's highs are in the mid-70s, then we're only in the mid-60s on Thursday, and then back up to about 73 degrees as we finish out the work week. And as we start to warm things back up on Friday, we do see more some sunshine. 5-day forecast, storm tracking alert for tomorrow, especially for late day into the evening hours with that threat for storms. Scattered showers, cooler Thursday. We're back to the 70s, mostly sunny on Friday. It does look as though summer returns along with a threat for storms into the upcoming weekend and into early next week. Meteorologist Dante Jones will be up with you early tomorrow morning at 4:25, tracking that threat for storms later in the day.
The wet spring we have seen is causing big problems for farmers.